Hey there, and welcome to this explainer. We're jumping straight into the absolute foundation of your junior cycle business studies course today, Scarcity and Choice. Honestly, if you can master this one single idea, it's like getting the cheat codes to understand the logic behind the entire business world. Let's get into it.
Picture this. You're standing in a shop right now. You've got exactly a 20-euro note in your pocket. You've got your eye on two things, but together they cost 30 bucks. So what do? Well, unless you can magically pull another tenner out of thin air, you've got a dilemma. And you know what? It's a dilemma literally every single human being on Earth has to face at some point.
So, we're going to solve that exact dilemma today. Here's our roadmap. We'll hit the fundamental economic problem, break down opportunity cost and financial planning, figure out what economic resources actually are, and finally wrap up with scarcity, sustainability, and ethics. Let's go.
Starting off with Section 1, the fundamental economic problem. You can kind of think of this as the ultimate supervillain of all business and economics.
To understand this villain, we have to draw a really strict line between our basic survival needs and our endless luxury wants. On one side, you have your absolute needs: water, food, shelter, healthcare. Without these, well, you don't survive. Simple as that. But on the other side, we have our wants: the newest smartphone, flashy holidays, designer shoes. They're awesome to have for sure, but they're not essential. And here's the catch. Human wants are totally 100% infinite. We literally never stop wanting newer and cooler things.
So our wants are infinite, right? But our resources, things like your time and your money, are strictly finite. They run out. This creates a massive critical clash called scarcity. Because we don't have enough limited resources to satisfy all those unlimited wants, we're forced to make a choice. We simply can't have it all. Bummer, I know.
Which brings us to Section 2, Understanding Opportunity Cost. This is your ultimate analytical tool and an absolute must-know concept for your exams.
All right, quick pro tip for you. You are definitely going to want to lock in this exact official definition. Opportunity cost is the value of the next best alternative that is foregone or sacrificed when a choice is made. Put simply, every single time you choose one option, you automatically pay a hidden cost by missing out on your second choice. The really wild thing about opportunity cost is that it impacts absolutely everyone. We're talking you, massive global companies, and even the government. Check this out. If you choose to buy a concert ticket, your opportunity cost is that study guidebook you had to leave on the shelf. If a business decides to use their factory line to make hoodies, the cost is the t-shirts they sacrificed and couldn't make. And if the government builds a brand new 50 million euro motorway, well, the opportunity cost there might be a hospital upgrade that they had to put on hold.
Now, pay super close attention here, because this right here is where so many students lose easy marks. Giving up 50 euros is not the cost. Money itself is never the opportunity cost. The real cost is that awesome school jacket you could have bought with that 50 euros. Remember, it's always the actual item or the action you missed out on. Drill that into your head.
Moving on to Section 3, Prioritization and Financial Planning. So now that we know all about these hidden costs, how do we actually combat scarcity in our everyday lives?
Well, since you can't have everything, you've got to prioritize using 3 logical steps. Step 1. Secure your basic needs first. We're talking rent, groceries, keeping the heating on. Step 2, evaluate your wants. Whatever discretionary income you have left over, which is basically just your fun money, goes towards your personal preferences. And finally, step 3, you've got to plan ahead and track those limited resources.
To execute that third step properly, you need to use a household budget. Think of a budget as your own personal defense mechanism against going broke. By looking ahead and keeping a close eye on your limited resources, you make absolutely sure you never run a deficit. And running a deficit just means spending way more money than you actually have coming in.
Let's put this to the test with a classic exam scenario. Okay, Sarah has 20 euros. She chooses to buy a textbook for 18 euros instead of a cinema ticket for 12 euros. Why? Well, Sarah's opportunity cost is the cinema ticket, right? That's the exact item she sacrificed. And she had to make that tough choice because her limited 20 euros simply couldn't satisfy 30 euros worth of wants all at the same time.
All right, on to Section 4. What are economic resources? Let's zoom out a bit and see how these concepts build from your own personal wallet into the actual building blocks of the entire economy.
When businesses talk about their limited resources, they're actually looking at these 4 specific factors of production. First up is land, which means any natural resources provided by nature, like water, fields, or oil. The scary part? Once fossil fuels are gone, they're gone forever. Second is labor, which is the human effort and skill of workers and teachers. Third is capital, meaning man-made physical goods, like factory machinery or delivery vans. And finally, enterprise. That's the unique skill of the entrepreneur, who takes the big risk to combine land, labor, and capital into a working business.
And hey, remember, scarcity isn't just about cash. Time is actually one of your most scarce resources. Financial scarcity means that once you spend that money, it's gone. But non-financial scarcity, that means spending 2 hours studying has a literal opportunity cost. You are actively sacrificing 2 hours of playing PlayStation or hanging out with your friends. Every single minute is a resource, so spend it wisely.
Which brings us to our final stop. Section 5, Scarcity, Sustainability, and Ethics. This is exactly the kind of stuff examiners look for to see if you can apply these textbook rules to the real world.
Because natural resources like land and clean water are strictly limited, every single choice we make has a massive, real-world impact on the environment. This leads us straight to sustainable development. The big idea here is that we have to meet our own needs today without totally destroying the ability of future generations to meet their needs tomorrow. It's about balance.
And this reality forces ethical choices absolutely everywhere. For you, as a consumer, it might mean choosing loose vegetables at the supermarket instead of the ones wrapped in layers of plastic. But for businesses, the stakes are way higher. If a company chooses cheap, dirty plastic just to save a few bucks, the opportunity cost is a clean environment and honestly, probably their brand's reputation too. They constantly have to weigh sustainability against making a profit. So I'm going to leave you with this final thought to chew on before you make your next purchase. Will the choices you make today leave enough resources for tomorrow? Are you actually factoring the planet into your opportunity cost? It's a lot to think about. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer, and I really hope this makes tackling your junior cycle business studies a whole lot easier. Catch you next time.